Hello. This is going to be a walkthrough video in the update that we recently posted. The reason I decided to do it is that the update turned out to be quite significant, and I can imagine some people will get frustrated, confused about all the new stuff that's happening. I'm going to do it in a stream-like manner. I will open the game, I will show how it works, I will highlight some of the features. The format is quite simple. I don't prepare any text. I might do some mistakes occasionally. If you don't understand my bad English, I'll try to add some text and captions to the video and also put a important text in the Discord. So let's get started. First of all, you just see the screen of my coding environment. It's nothing important, just some of the widget. And I'm starting with launching the game. So I launch the game, you see the logs here, you see the game popping up. So this is I deliberately made it in window mode so I can show different instances of the game on one screen. Okay, and first of all, you see some difference here. You have a display name. This will serve you as the user ID, and by this user ID the server will understand if there is any saved data that needs to be loaded and assign ownership over it. So this is going to be a server instance because there is no server found, there is no session, so there needs to be created one. And you see this button, create a server. So I'll just change the name to wardev. It doesn't really matter which one I choose. I click create server. And once I click create server, you see something is already here, right? So you see there is a town of user ID war1, there is a town of user ID war2. So these are the data that I tried to record it previously, and I messed up the video, so I didn't delete the save files. So it basically loads the save files that I already created the last time I made the video, and I can actually show you in the where these files physically located. Let me just pull them up here. Okay, so these files will be in a specific folder. It will be a different folder when the game is shipped, right? So when you have a standalone game, but there will be a folder which calls save games, maybe like saved then /saved games, and this folder will contain some of the data. It will contain the file server user registry.sav. This basically contains the list of players in this world and like their user ID and their password. For now, there is no password required, so it doesn't check for password, but the architecture already done. So later, when I add another line like type your password, it will check if this password matches this list, and if it doesn't, then server will not allow the client to join the server. Okay. So there is also like 3 other files like war1, war2, and wardev. War1 and war2 you see here. These are saved data specifically for those players. So before that, I launched the game, I chose the user ID war1, I chose the user ID war2 in another instance, and I joined the server and I built something. So these files contain this data, and when server starts, when server side creates the world, it will populate this world with all these buildings from saved data from all the players. Okay, so I just went through these parts so you understand why you see towns from the beginning. Okay, but this is server. It does not really interact with the world in the same way as client does. To play one of these towns, we can start another game, and we need to type this user ID. So we see the user ID here is war1, and if we type here war1, we'll join as this player. So let's see. Here we go. So we join the same world. As you can see, there is like one town, another town, and we see this is my town hall, user ID war1. Now we have a control over these villagers, and we'll have control over these buildings as well. So the ownership was successfully granted to the player when it joined the server. Okay, you also can see that client really has a lot of stuff going on the screen. So it is a new UI that we proposed earlier, and you had time to comment on that, and some of the comments, some of the feedback we took and changed some of the things. So now they are all in widgets, they're all functional. Like, not all of them, okay, so these buttons don't work yet, but you can see the time is working, this is a correct might, this is a correct prosperity, so and correct resources. So these buttons work. So if I try to click these buttons, they all work. So for example, this one, if you click this, it will send you back to the town, as you would expect, right? And it tracks the distance. Also bag, also heroes, like those widgets are still old, right? We haven't changed them specifically. It will happen over time. So, but we will try to change the hero screen before the build. So you will be able to see new hero screen with new heroes as we expect. So males, so just you see all of them working, and there is a nice feature to this menu as well. You can collapse it and expand. So if you just drag down, you can collapse this menu, it becomes smaller. You can drag up and it will expand as you like you can use it in this or this way. It doesn't it will not change your interaction ability. You can do this way and still being able to click on the buttons and trigger those widgets, as you can see. Something like that. And so what else I would like to show you is, well, let's just confirm the technology if it goes as expected. So there is a difference, a little difference. So there is no difference in UI yet, but when you click, for example, on research, right now it works slightly different than before. Now it is going to send the request to server, and server will validate, verify this request and send the answer. If everything is fine, it will change the state. So you can see there was a delay after my click, and during this delay is basically this communication between server and client happening. Just a side note, if you try to spam click it, it will send only one request, so no worries. And once the operation was verified, it changed to the next state of tech, and everything else is already synchronized. So you see these here, all these timers, all of them are synchronized here as well. So it happens as you would naturally expect it should be, right? So you can click complete, you can cancel it. Yeah, when it is already complete, you still can cancel it. You can redeem it here or here, whatever you like more. So, and this will basically all work, and the tag is already completed, right? So, and it is all synchronized with server. So server already like granted permission to do it. Okay, another thing is navigation. So I put quite some work to improve the navigation and making sure that so if we give him a command to go here, it will not bump into the wall, but it will choose the path that is physical. And you notice he just passed the gates. It very funny, but actually it was quite a bit of problem to make him pass the gates, because earlier it just stayed here at the entrance and couldn't just go in. But this thing was fixed, and now everything works as expected. It can pass the gates. It was something to do with the width of the agent. So basically it was too fat to fit the gates for the Unreal system. And everything works like for villagers and for any other agents, like animals, like marches. Everything works the same. Another interesting thing that we've done here is actually with these resource nodes. If you see, so this group of trees is actually just one actor. It is done to reduce the cost, like reduce the all this, like to improve the performance on, especially on phones. So you just need to render one actor. Everything else is just copied. It is called instant static mesh. So all of them just share the same kind of rendering time and space. But it also has its limitations, right? So you won't be able to interact with each of them separately, very how to say, in a very straightforward way. But it is just a concern of mine. You don't need to think about it. I actually found a solution where the villager, when you send him, it actually goes to a specific tree within this tree group. I found these, the location of a specific instance, and later, so this, if you can see, right? So I send him, and he starts chopping this tree, the closest one to him. And if I, for example, send him this way, he will start chopping this tree, right? So he knows which tree is closest to him, and he starts working on it. This is important as a foundation because later we'll be able to add this, reaction of the tree to chopping, some like little reaction, right? And when and we also can do this kind of HP system. When it goes down, the tree falls down, right? So there is already a good idea and technology how to do it without like compromising the performance. Okay, so let's just try quick building just just you see that everything works as expected. Frontier camp, you can build here, you can build outside. Okay, let's build outside. Let's build maybe something that we can build only inside, like house. We try to build it here, it doesn't allow us. Okay, we can build it here. So now we have house, and next time when the game loads, it will contain these buildings. Okay, so I'm going to log in from one more client. So this guy, War2, I'm going to log in from him. War2, and I click join. Oops. And you can see like it's the same world, the same War1. You see all the buildings, and you cannot interact with them because it is War2 client, right? So it is another player. But here is our stuff, so he can control those guys, he can control those buildings. So everything working well, as you would expect. And right now let's do some fight. So I create a troop, create a march. So you see he appeared here, he appeared here, and also there is a this widget. This widget is completely synchronized, so you have a portrait, you have this orange outline which indicates this hero is legendary. Then you have a health bar and these like small like white things that show you basically the percent, right? There is a 10 of them. So they show you, you don't need to eyeball how many percent you have. So for example, if you have some skill that works below 50% of health, you can exactly see when this part crosses, right? And also you have a counter of troops, of like soldiers in your march. That will be updated dynamically when fight happens. Okay, let's deploy one troop here from this player. For now we just have one hero, so there is not much of thrill around, but you actually will see that when they fight, the fight won't be very equal. So let's see the fight. So they start fighting, it seems like very like the same, right? But now you see difference happen, right? The difference is due to different random moments, different random skills. Like, okay, there is a 10% to get rage, there is 10% to increase the damage, something like that, and it actually makes a big difference in the fight. If it is good or bad, I don't know. We need to balance it better, we need to look at this, we need more testing, and this will be, I really hope and expect after the next build, we'll introduce, well, for the next build, like before, we'll introduce more new heroes, and you will be able to make these 1v1 fights, to play around with skills and find if some of the heroes are broken, if, like, you know, just to play around, just to see how the balance works, and it will help us tremendously. You will do this testing part, will help us, and we will draw conclusions out of it. Okay, so we have a winner here with quite a gap, so it is 80,000 left. It's like 40, a little bit more than 40% left. just due to this randomness. Again, the skills are the same. Okay, then, well, that's pretty much it. That I wanted to show. One more thing, that I actually can show how new player starts, because I showed War 1 and War 2 that already had towns. What happens if I add War 3, for example, to the same world, and it recognizes that there is no town for him? So there's War 1, there's War 2, and we can place the town. And we can place the town somewhere here. Let's place the town. So we have the town for War 3, and this town is visible for anyone else, and he can do the same thing as anybody else, right? So it is one extra player was added to the world, and this player will be spawned. Well, actually, let me show you when I close everyone. By the way, when I close everyone, when I close the player, all the data that he has currently is stored in the server, stored by the server in these save files. So you see, there is new file was added for War 3, and this file for War 1 and War 2 were updated. So now if I close the server and start it again, you will see it will produce, oh, actually I closed that. 1 second. So when I start the server again, it will spawn all 3 towns, because now we have 3 players in the world. Okay, 1 town, 2nd town, and 3rd town. So that's how it works. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you understood some of the new concept that I wanted to show. If you have any questions, any concerns, any complaints, just write them in the chat, and we'll try to address them as best as we can. Thank you. See ya.